Hey folks, Harley Day Rider here, your good old friend HDR back with you once again on a very gloomy, overcast, rainy day. So the topic of discussion today is going to be what happened to the 2011 Electric Glide Classic when we did the so-called pull the trigger, and what I am currently riding now, and what is owned by myself and Mrs. HDR. So first let me say that it's taken me a while to do this video, because as many of you have realized over the years that we've been working together, riding together, and I've been telling you my stories, myself and Mrs. HDR are very, very modest people. And I didn't want to make a big deal out of another bike. You know, that's nothing of what this video is. This video is mainly just an informational video because so many of you have been asking since that first video I did, and you've seen the new handlebars and you're like, wow, what's HDR riding today? And that whole scheme, that whole video scheme was set up by Mrs. HDR. She said, look, just do a very nice video, just ride and talk, see the top of the windshield and the handlebars, and see what kind of comments we get. Well, the comments kind of blew up, as I suspected they would, as I would comment to anybody like NC Stoney, Mike Killy 7, or anybody I see with a different style of motorcycle. We would have to ask what happened, when did it happen, how did it happen. So here's a couple facts. A lot of this is going to be very transparent, but the deal, we're not going to talk about a whole lot about the deal. When it happened was a few weeks ago. You remember watching the videos of the rib cook-off a couple Sundays ago. That's when the whole thing started. Now me looking for a Road Glide Ultra, you know, has been a while. This process has been a while. It wasn't a compulsive buy. Like we didn't walk in and I want that motorcycle and buy the motorcycle. It's been working out with the dealers. It's been talking about the deal that I want, and you know, I wanted everything to stay the same. Basically, it's exactly across the board the same as what I was had on the other motorcycles, as far as payments and all that stuff. So everything worked out exactly the way we wanted to, and we went to 3 different dealers to get the deal we wanted to. So it happened at the rib cook-off. Myself and Mrs. HDR, she was very reluctant. I said, let's go inside for a little bit. It's cooler inside, you know, in the Harley shop. Walk around a little bit and talk, you know, just look. We're just going to look around. So she always looks naturally for the clearance items because that's how we shop, right? We shop in the clearance section of the Harley shop. You probably do the same thing. And we're looking around, you know, for clothing, maybe new ball cap or something of that nature. And I was talking to the gentleman, my salesman, that I purchased the last 2 Harleys from, and now the 3rd. And I said, John, you know, I said, I'd like to look at a Road King. John said, hey, great, we got a Road King, HDR, come over here and take a look at it. So I sat in the Road King, and I sat with Mrs. HDR, and I said, hey, hon, I said, come on over, sit on the back of this Road King, see what you think. Well, she said, hey, it has floorboards, so that's a good start. She said, but it doesn't have a backrest. There's no backrest on it. I said, well, we can buy a backrest for the Road King. We'll put a backrest on it, put a luggage rack on it for our bags when we travel. And it would be a great bike. I love the Road King. Everybody knows that. It's a great, great motorcycle. But she said, you know, I don't want to give up the creature comforts that I have. She said, you know, I'd like to have a stereo still. I'd also like to have, you know, the regular backrest, you know, like the Ultras have on them. You know, with the armrest, so she can rest her, you know, her arms on there on a long ride. So Mrs. HDR had a conception of a motorcycle that she thought that we should own. So I said, look, I said, John, what I'm looking for then is, I've been really, really wanting a Road Glide Ultra. I said, but I don't see, you don't have any in the showroom. Oh, yeah, I do. Yeah, I have one in the showroom. Come here, I'll show you to you. So he took us over to this beautiful 2-tone Road Glide Ultra. It's a silver with a chocolate. We thought this was black, but it's actually like a dark brown chocolate color with the red pinstriping. I said, man, that's a beautiful bike, John. I said, you know, what we're going to do though, since we're at the rib cook-off, I said, we're really, really hungry. So we gave them some basic information they wanted, and we did the thing that everybody does in a motorcycle shop. We said, well, go ahead and run the numbers. So But we said, we're going out to eat. We're not going to sit here with you. We're not going to waste our whole day sitting in this motorcycle shop talking about numbers and discussing stuff. I told them exactly what I wanted, exactly what we can do. We want to be exactly the same as the 2011 Electric Glide Classic, across the board. And that was the particulars of the deal. We knew that, you know, like our bike had to be paid off. We knew that we weren't carrying anything on another loan. So across the board, it had to be flat for us to make a deal. So we went outside, we had our ribs, we had some pulled pork, which was really good. We had a couple beers to calm us down. And we went back in the shop and walked around. They weren't a hard pressure sell. They weren't looking at us to beat us up. They said, you want to come back and look at the numbers? We said, yeah, now's a good time. So we went back and we took a look. And we basically said, well, that's everything we wanted you to do, you did. And they didn't play around. They, you know, a lot of times at any car dealer, we've been to car dealers many times, we bought a lot of cars, and Harley dealers, a lot of times you'll go in and you'll say, look, you'll say something like, I could pay whatever it is, X amount of dollars a month is what I'm looking to pay. And they'll come back, obviously, $200 or $300 higher. I don't know why, I don't know if they don't hear you or they're deaf, but this shop did not. And the reason they did not is because they said they really try to strive for loyal customers. And being this is the third motorcycle that we purchased from this dealership, they really wanted to make us a deal. They didn't want us to go somewhere else and talk about anybody else. And I'm not going to tell you about the dealer. Just look where we are at the rib cook-off, and I think I said on that one where we were, and you'll figure it out. So it is a 107 engine. It is the Road Glide Ultra. Has all the bells and whistles that we wanted on a touring motorcycle, because we do tour every year. And everything is where we want it to be. So we pulled the trigger. Not that day, because I came home with the paperwork like you should. Don't do it that day. Take the paper home, the worksheet, look at it, study it, make sure you know every single number on there and what you're going to be doing. Because you're signing your life away for, you know, X amount of time. So make sure you know, don't impulse buy. It's easy to sign that paper and drive away that day. They're like, you could take it today. And I said, that's not going to happen. We've been waiting a long time. Now, a lot of you said on the comments, Jack, or HDR, I thought you'd wait until March. I thought you were waiting for the new bikes to come out in a couple weeks. And basically, I knew what I wanted. Thanks to everybody out there, because you know I was going to buy a 2016. I was going to buy a 103 engine and not buy a 107 engine. But I had to wait until I found a 107 engine that we wanted to buy, and it worked out. So perfect. So what happened to the Electric Glide Classic? Our old baby, our old friend, Mrs. HDR, was having a lot of pullback, and the big thing was, she said, it's funny because your spouse usually don't do this. Your spouse, you usually don't hear this from. You usually hear this from the motorcycle rider, not the passenger so much. Well, we rode that motorcycle. That motorcycle has been with us all the way up to Wyoming. It went out to Sturgis with us. It went to the Cherokee National Forest. That motorcycle took us to see Graceland. And that motorcycle also took us to see Elvis Presley, Graceland, and it took us to see the St. Louis Arch. We have a bond with that motorcycle. And I said, hon, we don't have a bond with the machine, but she gets it. And I hope you get it as a motorcycle rider. A motorcycle becomes a part of you. It becomes a part of your family. And if you don't believe that, ask many, many motorcycle riders out there. When you take a bike like the Electric Glide Classic, and I had that for 3 years, and I put, pipes on it. I put Vance & Hine True Duals on that bike. I got a cruise control put on to make it easier for me to drive long trips. There was a lot of stuff we put on that motorcycle that made it comfortable for us to ride it. And it was very hard. It's very hard to leave that go. And you're going to be seeing a video come up here soon, a video I filmed taking that motorcycle to the shop. That day I was taking it in to hand it over. And it's emotional. It's so weird, and it's so stupid, because it's like that inanimate object, right? If you ever seen that commercial years ago, they took an old lamp that was broken down, they put it outside to the trash, and it shows you from the lamp's perspective, up in the window, there's a new lamp up there being turned on, and it looked like it was being sad. It's not true, but it does. It is a bond. There's a bond, and you know that with your motorcycles. it's hard to let them go. I'd like to have kept it. I mean, I'd like to just have it sitting right here in the garage next to this one. That would have been awesome. But obviously that didn't happen. I probably would have kept it. Could have gave it to my son or something. He could have rode it. And but you can't obviously afford 2 motorcycles. You know, you can only afford one. And if I didn't get the deal that I did, I would have never did it. So we picked it up a few Wednesdays ago. That's where you've seen it on the videos there a couple times. And you know, I got almost, I just took it out a little bit ago, I got almost 400 miles on it, probably about, well, about 350 miles on it. Extremely pleased. Thanks everybody out there for telling me to wait for it, because the engine is, to me anyway, so far, the engine's been superb. There's so much power on it on the highways, and the Road Glide Ultras just cuts through the wind. So if you're ever looking for a Road Glide, I say go for it, because it's a totally different ride than all the other bikes out there. And not the other bikes are bad. I was going to buy a Road King. I was like this close to buying a Road King. I love it. And I'm going to get soaked just walking back across the street here to the house. But yeah, so I was super close to buying a Road King. And if it wasn't for Mrs. ACR, I wanted the creature comforts of the core pack and all that has to offer. I may have walked out with the Road King that day. So, but that's it. Like I said, we don't want you to think any differently of us. We're just 2 good old working American people, just like you are out there. And just wait for the deal. If you're going to be paying exactly what the same thing as you're paying now, I mean, you know, it's not that you are any, you know, you're not a multi-billionaire. Sometimes people see you with, you know, a different motorcycle, all of a sudden they put you in a different bracket, but we're not that way. We're very, very humble people. And you know, we're very, very humble. We're very humble to have been able to do that for the dealership to make the deal with us, and we're very pleased with everything that happened. So that's it. That's the big reveal. That's why it took me so long to do this video, because we wanted to be very, again, it's another motorcycle, but I'm loving it. I am loving it. I can tell you that. Even taking it out right before this rainstorm that just hit. I was cruising, it started raining, I didn't want to come home. I'm glad I did, because it was really, really raining. I'll show you that in a minute here. There's a big storm coming through. And, try to get back to the house somehow. The garage is not connected to the house, I got to figure that out. Alright, let me show you this rainstorm real quick, and then we're going to bust out of here. This is what I would have been riding in. Get this camera up here a little bit on the tripod. You see the rain coming through there pretty good. Alright everybody, thank you so much for watching, and I will talk to you on the next video. I have a stack of them for you, so they'll be coming through. Harley Dayride is going to be down and out in the very ugly, nasty weather of southwestern Pennsylvania. There you go. We'll see you. Remember, ride your own ride, be safe out there, and we'll talk to you next time. Bye-bye for now.